So there's a particular risk in financial decisions that doesn't get talked about very much, and it's not catastrophic mistakes. It's the risk of almost getting it right. So most big financial decisions aren't obviously reckless. They seem reasonable. A house is affordable, the investment seems sensible, that business idea seems to have merit, even that salary offer from that new employer looks quite attractive. But here's where advice becomes valuable. So it's not about stopping bad decisions. It's about spotting those second order consequences that happen as a result of those decisions. You know, if I take this job, what happens to my super? If I sell this asset, what happens to my tax position? If I gear into property, what happens to my cash flow flexibility? If I draw from those investments, what happens to my long-term stability? So individually, each of those pieces can look fine on the surface, but collectively, they can really shift your trajectory over the long term. And the expensive part isn't usually the initial decision. It's that compounding effect of having something slightly off over the long term. So having a financial planner as a sounding board doesn't exist to override your judgment. We exist to widen your field of vision before momentum starts to take over. Because fixing something later is often harder than thinking it through now and taking that little bit of extra time. Having someone actually be able to compare the numbers for you. So let's just say you model a scenario and maybe it is, do I renovate my current house? Do I buy a new one and rent the one out that I've got? A financial planner is able to actually model those outcomes and add some numbers behind it. And oftentimes coming up with a couple of different scenarios. It could be, here's the best financial outcome. Maybe here's the best emotional one based on what you've told me is important to you as a household. And maybe there's a blend of what's in the middle. And then you're able to make an informed decision on what resonates with you. Because again, a perfect financial plan mathematically, if you give up on it, it's not as good as a good plan that you actually follow through on. And I would argue that, financial advice that's not tailored to someone's goals and objectives that resonates in their chest, if it doesn't do that, then it's not good financial advice. So I hope you found that reminder helpful. Like and subscribe to follow along. And if you'd like to have a personalized discussion, just reach out through the comments and we'll get in touch.